Hi, welcome to the Quantity Surveying Studio. Hope you have been enjoying the contents that I've been putting in this channel. Hope it has been helpful in your career and also been helpful in your professional life. Please don't forget to subscribe to Quantity Surveying Studio if you have not yet subscribed. Please like the videos that I've been putting and please do share it with your colleagues or friends who are into this field of quantity surveying. So one of the main duties of a quantity surveyor is to do quantity measurement from the drawings. So as a quantity surveyor, you will need to have an idea or you will need to understand a drawing and get to know what all are the items that is being shown in a drawing. From that, you will also need to learn how to measure your different items. As an MEP quantity surveyor, there are a lot of MEP items that you will have to measure. So there might be chances that you will miss out some items. There are both countable items and measurable items, that is in length, meters, area in square meters, or it can also be a volume or kgs if it is a duct measurement. So mostly the countable items, yes, from the drawings you can get it. And if you are asked or if two people are asked to take off measurement of any countable items, they can get the same type of items. But in a linear measurement, if it is a length of a pipe or a duct, or if it is something that you need to measure, if two people are asked to do that, it need not be that both will get the same measurement. The way of measuring can be different for both quantity surveyors. So the main idea is to get the maximum accurate possible measurement. So that is why the name estimation itself is given to this concept. That is, you cannot get an accurate measurement of every item. Countable, yes, you can get, but for linear measurements or area measurements or volume measurements, there can be a slight changes, but the main goal is to get little error and try to cover most of the measurements. Now, since I am an MEP quantity surveyor, I have always come across instances where we miss out some kind of items, or sometimes even in the drawings, the items will not be shown. So with experience, you will have an idea like if a particular item is not shown in drawing, but yes, that should be there actually. Sometimes the design professionals may miss out something, but as a quantity surveyor, you will have an idea that such and such item needs to come, and you will have to assume these items and include that in your measurements inside your BOQs while tendering your works, providing rates for these items. So for all these activities, with experience, you will get better knowledge and also you will have an idea of the different types of items. So as an MEP quantity surveyor, we have different systems, we have different items, and it is always an experience. So every project when we do a quantity takeoff is a different experience. We come across some new items, so we have an idea that this item is there. If it is a plumbing system, the different valves, the different ancillaries, the different types of pipes, so we have an idea that such and such item will be coming for the next project also, even if it is not shown. If it is kind of similar type of building, similar type of project, we will have an idea, or we get to know from our previous experience that these items will be coming even if it is not shown in the drawing. So the basic idea here is, once your quantity takeoffs are finished, just to make sure that you are included all the items, you have not missed out something. So that is the main idea of this checklist. So without further delay, let's move into that checklist, and I'll also let you know how you can get this checklist. So this is that plumbing checklist. If you see, the different plumbing works have been divided into different systems. You have storm drainage, condensate drains, fixtures, soil and wastewater system, grey water system, cold water system, hot water system, and inside each system there are the different major items. So I'll not be going in detail about each system and each item. Hopefully I'll be making more videos in the future about each item and each system. So keep watching all my videos. You will get to see new concepts, new ideas you will get to learn. So if you see here, there are different columns here. One is measured and included in BOQ. Then there is assumed and included in BOQ. not applicable, so not included in BOQ. Some items might be under professional sum. You might not have any design, but from the tender documents, after studying the tender documents, you will get to know that these items will be there, but the design has not come, so you will need to quote some professional sum for such items. So that is the main idea here. Measured and included is obviously you will have it in your drawings and then you will measure it and then you will be including in it the BOQ. For such items you can see put something, some tick, or just for example pipe works, you have done the measurement from the drawings, it is completed, so you can put some color for it. Next, grease trap, for example, it was not shown in the drawing but you know it should come, so you have assumed in places where it has to come and you have already measured it. So for that item you can put red here. Sewage treatment plant, so for every project it need not be that a treatment plant should be there. So for maybe in this project which you're doing quantity takeoff, after that you didn't find anything about sewage treatment plant, so you are putting it under not applicable, so it is not included in BOQ because nothing has been mentioned regarding this plant. So like that, if there are some items, for example some pumps and tanks are needs to be included, the design is not available, so you are putting it under provisional sum for now. After studying your tender documents, you get to know that these items are under the provisional sum and the design details will be given later, so for that you can just put it under the provisional sum. So this is the main idea. So once you are finished with your quantity takeoffs, go to this checklist and for each item you do this marking wherever it is applicable, and after doing all the marking of all the items you get to know what items you have missed out, or if you have forgot to measure some items you can submit it to your senior or to the person who is auditing your BOQ, so they will also have an idea of what all items are there, what you have included, what you have not included. They can also easily understand the entire plumbing system just by going through this sheet. They can understand the complete plumbing works of that particular project. So hope this sheet will be useful for you. So this video is mainly focusing on a checklist that can be used while doing your MEP quantity takeoff, especially the fire protection works. So once you're done with your quantity takeoff, you can open up this checklist. Once you fill this checklist, you can get an idea whether you have completely included all the important items that comes under a fire protection system. So if you see this checklist, I have divided the different items under different headings like sprinkler system, dry standpipe system, fire extinguishers, fire suppression, and under each system there are different items, the major items. You have pipe works, ancillaries. Under ancillaries, there are a lot of ancillaries that might come, but I've included the important ones like valves, switches, instruments, measuring instruments, site glass, and sometimes in some special buildings or in different locations there might be other ancillaries that is used, so you can include that here and mention that item's name here. Sprinklers, fire hose cabinet, pumps, then the dry standpipe system, again pipe works under this system, the ancillaries, extinguishers and fire blankets, the special fire suppression system that is used in some important rooms like the IT rooms. So in such rooms you cannot use sprinkler system because water might destroy the equipment inside that room. So in such rooms, such sensitive rooms, such kind of suppression systems are used for fire protection works. So here there's a column where you need to mention the unit of measurement that is used to measure these items, whether it is in numbers or meters or square meters. Mostly fire protection works will be either in numbers or in meters. The pipe works will be in meters and the remaining all the items will be just in numbers. So once you have done with your quantity takeoff, you can fill out this column. Then you can fill the remaining details. Like for example, if these pipe works are measured, so if you see this heading, measured and included in BOQ, assumed and included in BOQ, not applicable, not included in BOQ, included under professional sum. So this means that the particular item is measured from the drawings. It is available in the drawings. It was available in the drawings, and it was also included into the BOQ. For example, if pipe works are like that, you can just give a shade green. Sometimes what happens is the pipe works will not be shown in the drawings. That might not happen, and pipe works might not be there, but like for example some measuring instruments, so it is required in some parts, and you know that this item is required in that areas, but it is not given in the drawings, so you're just assuming it and then putting inside the BOQ. So for such items you can then shade green here under this column. Sometimes some items will not be there in the drawings, will not be there in that building, and you will not be required to include that in the BOQ. So for such items you can shade green there. For example, side glass. So some buildings, some projects, there might not be this item. So for that, you can just shade under this column. And sometimes there might be items that is included as a provisional sum. You will not be provided with any drawings initially during the initial stage while preparing the BOQ, but that item is there and it would be included as a provisional sum. The design, everything will be provided to the contract only on a later stage once the works begin. So such items can be included under provisional sum, and a particular amount can be estimated and provided by the contractor. So such items you can just shade under this column. So once you're done with it, you will understand that what all you have included, what all you have not included, and where you have included, whether it is under provisional sum or inside the BOQ, which were the items that were not in the BOQ. So once this checklist is filled up, you can send it to your line manager, the person who is going to review it. So he or she will also get an idea about the fire protection system that is happening in this building. Easily they can question you about why such and such an item was not there in the BOQ, or they can ask just to recheck whether it is there in the drawings or not. So this is a very simple checklist that can be used in your professional life. So hope this small video was informative. So this video is basically about a checklist of an MEP system, that is HVAC system. So if you have watched my previous videos, I've already made videos on the plumbing checklist and the fire protection checklist. So this is another checklist that can be used while carrying out your MEP quantity takeoff. So this checklist or any MEP checklist or any type of checklist is mainly useful once the quantity takeoff is done. So once you fill up this checklist after your takeoff, you will get an idea of what you have measured and what you have not measured, or if you have missed out something in your measurement. And the same checklist can be used by the person who is reviewing your quantity takeoff. This one single checklist is enough to get an idea about the particular system of that particular project. So if you see here the columns, you will have the unit of measurement, so each type of item. So I have basically made a breakup of this HVAC works according to different subsystems. You see you have chill water system, condensate water system, refrigerator piping, mechanical ventilation for mechanical rooms, then the pressurization system. Mainly this comes for the staircases or fire exits, then toilet exhaust system for all the toilets, kitchen exhaust system, the smoke exhaust system or the car parking exhaust system, then the air conditioning system for the different rooms, then generator set, the exhaust work for a generator set. Entire HVAC works are divided into each subsystem, and each subsystem has different types of items. You can go through each item. So if you see, this is another column where it is measured and included in BOQ. So whichever items you have already measured, which is there in the drawing and which is included in your BOQ, after the quantity takeoff you will be making the BOQ. So item that is measured and included, you can give a color against that cell for each item. Then this column is for that items which are not there in the drawing but you have included in the BOQ. Like there might be some items you will be having an idea about the system that this particular item should be coming, but it is not shown in the drawing. So you can assume such items, like for example small ancillaries, dampers or diffusers. Sometimes it will not be shown in the drawing. Maybe the designer would have forgotten to mention it in their drawing, so that you can assume and count and then put those items. Those items that has been assumed can be put another color and mark. For example, if pipe work is measured, you can put a color yellow. Then for pipe insulation is not given in the drawings or in the specification or nowhere in the project documentation, so that you can assume pipe insulation should be coming. So you can just assume and put another color here for
whatever is assumed. Then comes a column for not applicable, not included in BOQ. So it need not be that in a project all these subsystems should be coming. Sometimes there might be a project where the entire chill water system will not be there. So for that, all the items can be put in a different color. For example, if there is this entire chill water system is not there in a particular project, so this entire items can be put in a different color, maybe a red color. So that means when someone who reviews it can easily understand that okay, chill water system is not there in this project. And finally, there is a column for included under provisional sum. These are for items that is there in the project, but as of date or while you're doing a quantity take of the design has not been developed. But later on in the execution stage or later on once the project begins, the design will be developed and it will be included as additional items, or accordingly a provisional sum needs to be put for these systems. So such items, for example, chill water system, the design maybe in another project you're doing and chill water system is there, but the design has not been developed and it is mentioned that this would be put as a provisional sum. So an estimate would be put during the tendering stage. For that purpose, you can just all these items you can just put a different color so that you will get an idea that okay, this system is under the provisional sum. It is there but coming under provisional sum. So I've tried to include all the items, all the subsystems that comes in an HVAC system. So you can just go through it and hope this will be helpful while your next quantity takeoff. So this is a video about an MEP checklist. If you've been following this channel, you would have already seen some MEP checklist videos, mainly for plumbing works, firefighting works, and HVAC works. So this is a checklist for electrical works. Well, before starting this video, big apology for the background noise. This was something that I couldn't avoid during this time. So sorry for that. So hope whatever I'm telling is clear. So let's start this video. And also please don't forget to subscribe to Quantity Surveying Studio if you are into the QS field, if you're into the construction sector, if you're someone who wants to move into the quantity surveying field. So this would be really be helpful for you. So here is this checklist. I've made some categories and put some items, some works related to that category under each headings. So this column B will be the description of the work, and these are the different other columns. For example, C is a column wherein you can note down the unit of measurement. So this checklist can be mainly used once you're done with your quantity takeoffs. You can open this sheet and what you can do is you can fill up this entire sheet. The first thing is you can fill up the unit of measurement used for the different types of work. That can be in meters, square meters, or numbers. Then according to the measurement done, you can fill these columns. For example, D is a column that can be filled if you have measured a particular item and you have included that in the BOQ, or if you are preparing a cost plan in that. For example, you have done your takeoff of your cables and mostly it is in meters, so you can mention it is in meters. Then if you've done your quantity takeoffs, just you can highlight it with green. So accordingly, whatever items you have measured, you can put that, you can highlight that in green. Now next column is for those items that has been assumed and included in the BOQ or cost plan. So sometimes some items would not be given in the drawings. There might be not much information about that particular item, maybe in your initial stages of cost plan, the schematic stage or the concept design stage. So for those items, you know that that item is actually required, but then you have no idea about its details, your capacity, or how many quantities required. So you would be putting it as an item or a lump sum item. So those you can put, for example, like there is switch gears required, but nothing is given that in your particular document that is received from the client. So those items you can highlight here. The next is some items which is not applicable and which has not been included. There might be some systems which is not actually required for that particular project. So for those items, you can highlight it in this column. Like for example, there it might be a small building, so lightning protection items would not be required. Terminals is not required for small buildings. So those you can highlight in this column. And then finally, there is a column for professional sum. So it would be mentioned in your documents, the tender documents, or in your cost plan, like reports that is given by the client, that some items is there, but the design would be developed at a later stage once the construction process begins. So a professional sum needs to be put for those. So that things you can put under, you can highlight here. For example, panel boards, not much details are given. It would be developed in the construction stage. So that items you can highlight here. So once you have like gone through this entire checklist, there might be some items which will not be highlighted in any of these columns. So then you can understand that, okay, there is something that you have missed out or something has been done wrong in your takeoff. So this is something that you can yourself do once your quantity takeoff is done and this checklist is prepared. You can yourself check that if you have missed out something that you can easily identify from this sheet. That is the basic idea of making this checklist. So similar kind of checklists I've already prepared for the other MEP works like plumbing, HVAC, and fire protection. So hope this small video has been helpful. So in this video, we'll be looking into another checklist, and that is on extra low voltage works, ELV works. Under this system, there are a lot of subdivisions. So if you see here in this checklist that I have prepared, you can find fire alarm system and all the components that comes under that, cables, wires, equipments, containments, devices, and outlets. So majorly these are the different components that comes under each ELV system. So ELV system, you might be knowing there are different types of ELV system. One is fire alarm system. There is the information and communication technology system, ICT. We have voice evacuation or public address system, security system, the cameras, access control system, audio visual system, telephone system, BMS building management system, GRMS guest room management system, parking management system. So these are the different, like the main components or the main branches of an ELV system. Now depending upon the project, there might be some system, there might not be some system. For example, I think fire alarm system is now compulsory for all types of projects. Information technology also is important. Voice evacuation also is very important. Security system, again, depending upon whether it is required in that project. Access control system, again, maybe for residential projects. This might not be very important, but in commercial projects, it is definitely very important. Audio visual system, again, for residential projects, not that important. Telephone system also. BMS, again, depending upon the type of project. GRMS is mainly for resort hotel type of projects, hospitality projects. Parking management system, again for malls, commercial. Now the basic components in each system is almost similar. If you see, it is the common things here. Cables and wires will be there for all the system. Equipments, the racks and panels will be there for all these systems. Only the specifications will change. Containments again will be the same for the different system, ducts, trenches, conduits, depending upon what is used in that project. And then the devices and outlets. So that will keep on changing for different types of projects. So for example, in fire alarm system, the devices and outlets will be the detectors, heat detectors, strobes, all those items. For ICT, it will be mainly the data outlets, the wireless access points. Then for voice evacuation, public address system will be the speakers. Then the security systems, obviously the cameras. Then access control system will be the card readers, door locks. AV system, it will be mainly the, again, speakers, then the projectors, TVs. Telephone system, the telephones, wireless telephones or different types of telephones. BMS system will be like integrating the major equipment. So all those points, the BMS points for each type of equipments. Guest room management system will have the different types of tablets or phones or switches, the sensors. Parking management system is again the sensors used in the basement for parkings. So only the types of devices will keep on changing. And again, depending upon your project, your type of project, there might be new ELV systems also. specialized ELV system. So that also you can include in this checklist. And here, as usually, like any other checklist, I made a column for unit of measurement. You can put whether it has been measured in meters, numbers, meter cubes, meter squares. Then this column is if it is measured and included in the BOQ. So that particular item you can highlight it with green or any other color. Then there might be some items which has been assumed and included there. It might not have been given in the drawings, but as an experienced QS, you would be knowing that this item is actually required. So you will assume and put that particular item. And there might be some item which is not at all applicable, and then since it is not applicable, it is not included in BOQ or the cost plan. So maybe some entire system it might not be applicable. So you can highlight those in those color, and some items would be included in the provisional sum. So the design would not have been developed during that stage in which you are preparing the cost plan or BOQ. So you will be putting a provisional sum. So all those items you can highlight it here. So try to include all the ELV systems here. This one sheet is enough for the entire ELV checklist. Mostly ELV is something that is done by specialist contractor, and most of the times as a main contractor or consultant we overlook this ELV system. We think that okay, this is not really important, or the costing or the pricing of this system is not that huge, so we could assume some price for the same. But this is really an integral part of any project, any building. And mostly from my experience, what I have seen is the variations happen on this ELV system, because in the tendering stage you don't give much care to these items. You just assume some quantities for these items, but during the actual execution stage the quantities tend to increase, or there are a lot of other new quantities that comes into the picture, like the variation comes into picture for these ELV systems. So hope this small checklist video has been useful. You can mention your email ID in any of my social media accounts. The link to my accounts has been given in the description. So you can just click through it and just message me either in LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, because I don't think YouTube takes the email ID as comment. So please don't forget to subscribe to Quantity Surveying Studio. Keep learning. Take care. Bye.